Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. So, one of the most important things or most exciting things that I got for Christmas, bought it for myself because the best gifts are usually the ones that you get for yourself, is I got myself a brand spanking new Samsung Note 8, Samsung Galaxy Note 8. And this is the packaging. And so we're gonna do a little, not an unboxing because it's already opened, but I'm gonna show you it unboxed. In other words, I want to show you how it's packaged and everything. Give you a comparison to how Apple does it, and just give you my initial impressions, my first impressions of the lovely Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Okay, so what do we have? We have some pretty nice packaging. It's done in what looks to be kind of that environmentally conscious looking um, tan, probably recycled, but a high end looking cardboard. I think it is recycled. It says it's, yes, box is made with 100% post consumer recycled paper and printed with soy ink. So very nice looking box though is what I'm getting across there. And then the Samsung was nicely packaged. It was in shrink wrap and sitting on the top there. And as you can see, it's perfectly recessed there just for the Samsung. And then we open that up, and what we've got in here, aside from my receipt, is we got a quick start guide, all on the same type of coordinated, very nice looking high end paper. And we have this slot where our charger plug is. I don't have it in here right now because it's plugged into the wall. And so they give you everything you need right in there. And it's all nicely done. Same consistent type of packaging with the recycled cardboard. Really nice looking. And I guess what my point there is in saying that, in showing you that, what I wanted to get across is that Samsung is pretty much doing the same thing that Apple's doing. They're trying to give you that really nice looking, well packaged, that high end look, the finesse. And I think they've done a really good job, is I guess what I want to get across. Now, initial impressions with the Samsung Note 8 is it is a very nice looking tablet, very well put together. Everything looks nicely machined, all of the bevels and edges. Nothing is sticking out as not being perfectly symmetrical and everything done nicely. In other words, sometimes you might see something that's cheaply made and an edge sticks out, or it just doesn't look like it's consistent all around on the seal or something like that. You don't see any of that with the Samsung, nor would you expect to. Samsung's a really solid name, but it's beautifully done, deserving of the Samsung name. It has a protective sticker on the back plate here. You could see the camera is up here on the Samsung, on the Note 8. Over here, we have a cover for the SD slot, and it just pops off, and it's just hinged on the one side, and you put in your micro SD card. And and then there's obviously the big thing with the Note 8 is the stylus. And that is one of the big reasons that I wanted to get one of the Samsung Note 8s. And when you pull the stylus out, it automatically triggers the Note 8 and turns it on. I don't know if you could see that there, that it's turned on. And similar to an iPad, you got the home screen button. You touch that. You got a couple other touch buttons down here that the iPad doesn't have, which is really nice. You've got a return screen, kind of like a back key. And then you got another one that pulls up it's a menu button. So that's really nice there. Over here we have our power on, power off sleep button. And we also have the rocker panel on it for volume, similar to what you'd see on an iPad. I don't know if you could see that on the side, but there's a little tiny IR window. And what's neat about a lot of the Samsung gadgets, including this Note 8, is you can use this as a TV remote. It can function as an infrared TV remote. Up here on the very top is your headphone jack, or your audio out for auxiliary if you want to hook it up. You can see at the very bottom, there's two tiny little holes where our speaker volume comes out of. And actually, the sound on the Note 8 is pretty decent, equivalent to my iPad anyways. And then there's the charge port down there, or the accessory port, which we're going to get into some accessories for this, and I'll be talking about those at a later date. The two biggies why I wanted the Samsung Note 8 and why I've actually switched to the Samsung Note 8 from my iPad is that obviously the stylus, which is huge, especially for us photographers and videographers, because the the Note 8 as well as the Note 10 uses an actual Wacom graphics digitizer, same as the Wacom graphics tablets that you use with your computer when we're working on photos and working on videos and whatnot instead of a mouse. So that is huge. It's pressure sensitive, very nice, way advanced, way better experience than trying to use a non-touch sensitive stylus with just a rubber end on an iPad tablet. That sensation is just like dark ages compared to using a Note tablet with the stylus and the Wacom graphics tablet basically built in that's pressure sensitive. So ideal situation for a photographer or a videographer, and we'll get into that in another video on that. The other big thing, as I pointed out, that was huge for me was the micro SD slot. So basically, what you can't do on an iPad is put in a micro SD card and expand your storage. What you can do on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, is put in a 32 or 64 gig card, and all of a sudden, you've got all that additional storage for movies, for photos you want to edit right on your pad with your Wacom stylus, or for music. Did I say music? Music, videos, photos, right? Anything you want to add on here for additional storage, which is beautiful. And even apps, you can set it so that it'll store stuff, information from the apps straight to the card and leave the 16 gigabyte built-in memory on this. And this also has a quad-core processor and 2 gig of RAM. So my initial impressions are it's very fast, very snappy. I really like the Android system. I gotta say, I'm a computer guy. I've got a bit of an IT background, and the Android system just works so much more. It's so much more open and works so much nicer than the iOS system on the Apples. I was constantly frustrated having to use iTunes. You can take an SD card here, the micro SD card. You can put just like a folder on your computer. You can dump a folder of movies, a folder of music on there, throw it in here, and instantly you can play it just like as if you're doing it on your computer. No messing around with iTunes and having iTunes throw half your album into one slot and half into the other because there was a guest star on the song or something. None of that business. And then you could pull out that card, throw in another card. You could have a 64 gig card full of movies, 64 gig card full of photos. You can have as many as you want, just like additional hard drives. And they're getting very cheap these days. 32 gig cards were on for about $20 over Christmas. Initial impressions are very, very favorable. I'm very much liking this. I actually sold my iPad over Christmas. I had an iPad 2, so granted, not the most current one. But I do have to say that this Note 8, as far as terms of speed and functionality, is heads and tails over my iPad. Not only is it way faster, which may not be a totally fair comparison because the new iPads have faster processors, but just much more intuitive, much more open system with Android. I much prefer that, and I would highly recommend you at least try this. I'm somebody that really liked my iPad, so I'm not really bashing the iPad. But what I am saying is the Note is just so much nicer. I like it a lot better than my iPad. No regrets so far on my first impressions. But we'll be back with a couple week review, month in review, let you know how things are going on. But so far, really, really pleased with my purchase. So stay tuned. We'll let you know what the ongoing impressions are. Get yourself out if you're interested in the tablet. Most photographers, videographers, things like that. Most people have a tablet, but even for us photographers, you could show your portfolio on this and things like that. It's very important. It's an essential piece of gear to a lot of people nowadays, and it is for me. But get yourself out to a Best Buy. Get yourself out to whatever electronic store is in your area. Get your hands on one of these. Start playing with it. Don't be afraid to tell the salesman to bugger off. You don't need any help. Just stand there and fool around with the tablet. Figure out how it works. Oh, one of the really cool things that I forgot to mention about this thing is with the stylus is it's got handwriting recognition that works amazing. You can practically chicken scratch on here, and it'll interpret your handwriting perfectly. So you can take notes, and it translates it to text for you. Really, really cool. So anyway, stay tuned, folks. We'll be back soon with more on the Samsung Note 8 experience. Also, stay tuned. We'll be back with new videos, new articles on everything that's going on in the world of photography today, which is very exciting with all the new announcements from CES. And we'll be back soon. Thanks a lot, folks. Stay tuned to artoftheimage.com.